What's going on, everyone? It's me, Lone, and as you probably know, in about 3 days, The Outer Worlds is finally releasing. This is one that I cannot wait for, and I just wanted to make a video which is just chilled, laid back, where I talk about all the reasons why I am so excited for this game. Mind you, I haven't played the game yet. All of my thoughts are just based on the trailers that I've seen and the footage that I've seen, but I think I've seen enough to get a bit of an understanding as to what the game is about and develop in my mind a number of reasons why I'm excited for it. So here they are, I hope you enjoy. So first and foremost, the game is made by Obsidian, and I absolutely love Obsidian. Fallout New Vegas is one of my favorite games of all time. You all know that I've constantly said that Fallout 3 is my personal favorite, but I absolutely adore Fallout New Vegas as well. It's a game that I've completely clocked. I mentioned that in my previous unboxing video of the collector's edition for New Vegas. You can see the art book there. It's pretty cool. I absolutely love the game, so I cannot wait to play another RPG that's done by Obsidian. Admittedly, I don't play many of Obsidian's other video games, but this is one that has drawn my attention, and I just cannot wait for it specifically for that reason. This is especially so as well because the characters seemingly, again, I've only seen limited footage and trailers, but the characters in this game seem to be very fun and very quirky. We know how great Obsidian is with characters and character development and just developing awesome backstories and giving them a cool nature and all that kind of stuff. Again, we saw that in Fallout New Vegas. I can't wait to see another take on it when it comes to The Outer Worlds. I'm pretty excited to see these characters in the flesh and actually talk to them. Again, we've only gotten a small glimpse, but so far they seem pretty fun, they seem pretty unique. Also as well, the humor in the game seems to be very on point. Now, some trailers have exemplified this way more than others, but the game seemingly has like a Guardians of the Galaxy vibe, and I absolutely love that. I mean, even Rock Paper Shotgun in one of their reviews or early impressions of the game, and I want to get this right, they said it's a jolly, colorful sci-fi space romp. And if that's the case, and it's anything like watching a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, then I'm all aboard for this, right? If it's filled with humor and sci-fi action and space action and just colorful settings, which I'll get to, by the way, then this is something that's probably right up my alley, so I can't wait for that. And just another quick point on that before I move on, I think this is all especially so because of the music that they've used in the trailer so far. And again, I haven't heard any of the music in-game, including the ambient music or the full array of licensed music, but if it's fun, if it's upbeat, if it's anything similar to the kind of score that Guardians of the Galaxy had in both volumes, then I cannot wait for this. Alrighty, reason number 2 why I'm so excited. The setting in the game is based in space, obviously, it's called The Outer Worlds, but it just seems so varied and colorful and fun to explore. I cannot wait to rip into it. I've always mentioned this whenever I mod, like a Fallout game or whatever it is, Elder Scrolls, right? I tend to be that person that likes to increase saturation to the nth degree, and I like a, visually vibrant, colorful game. That's always been me, right? And this is it. Outer Worlds is absolutely that all over. You watch any of the gameplay, any of the trailers that we've seen, each scene is colorful. It's popping with color, it's vibrant, it's, really aesthetically pleasing to look at. I just love that in and of itself. That's, it's going to be something that I constantly enjoy as I play this game. And then you got all the different planets and biomes in this game, which again seem incredibly varied. I think they've completely taken advantage of the fact that they're in space and they can utilize different settings and different locales and biomes and, environments because it's space, right? You can find anything in space. You let your imagination run wild. And I have a list of things that I've already seen in the trailers, but there were swamps, industrialized cities, wastelands, volcanoes, space stations, obviously, your typical planets as well. There's just a bunch in this game, and I can't wait to explore it for that reason. Part of the reason why I think a lot of us enjoy playing RPGs is not just because of the role-playing mechanic and, the fun characters you can encounter, but it's just exploring, right? It's fun to explore, it's fun to loot, it's fun to just do random side quests, right? And if you have, interesting environments to do that in, that makes it all the more enjoyable. So I cannot wait to actually explore all of these environments, see what they have to offer. Yes, of course, they're visually beautiful, they look great, but I'm sure there are interesting things to find in them as well. But the variety as well is not just down to the setting, it's also down to the enemies that we're going to be encountering in the game, and the creatures. They're alien-like, there were insects there, there's also robots and mechs. It's just going to be, I think, a fun thing to not just explore, but also kill a bunch of shit. That's what I'm really looking forward to. I want a bunch of different enemies that have unique abilities, unique ways of trying to attack and kill you, that look different from, location to location. I love it. I love what I've seen so far, and I think Obsidian is doing a great job at this. And reason number 3 why I'm so excited about this game is the plot. It seems incredibly compelling and interesting. The long and the short of it is that you're in this colony called Halcyon, but it's being run and controlled by a bunch of corporations from Earth. And I love that we, as the player character, get to challenge the status quo. So Halcyon used to be occupied with certain settlers, and then they got kicked out because of all these corporations that came in. They bought everything, they branded everything, and they're constantly selling products. And I believe, this is my understanding, that us as the player character used to be one of those settlers. The trailer said your fellow settlers are now locked away, and it's up to you to save them. But now, because the corporations have such a chokehold on the society, it's not going to be easy. They control everything. They sell everything from ammunition to food to weapons as well. I'll get to that too. So instead of there being like a central government, for instance, that are controlling everything, and corporations are just off to the side selling their own products, now the corporations are the ones that are in control. And I do find that interesting, especially because the corporations have seemingly formed like a board of some sort. So even though they're selling products against each other, they do have a common interest to kind of keep their power in this world. And because they're so rich and powerful and have just infiltrated every aspect of this colony, and seemingly a lot of other colonies as well, nobody has gone up against them. So now it's up to us to do that as the player character, and that's going to be a lot of fun to do. It's going to be interesting to see how the board or the corporations have manipulated people into believing that, the corporations are what's best for society, rather than having a free and open society is actually what the most ideal scenario is. But again, the kind of amplification of capitalism and this emphasis on selling products and all of that, I love it. It fascinates me. I love how it's a different take on the future. It's dystopian. It's right up my alley. And really, I just can't wait to see what it's all about. Alrighty, reason number 4, and I probably don't need to go into too much detail about this. It's kind of obvious on the face of it, but there seems to be a lot of emphasis on choice. And I fucking love that. Pardon my French. First, in terms of just the character you want to play as, you start as the stranger. It's a clean slate. I love that, right? Fallout games do that a lot, which is great. I love starting, as a new person. You might have some sort of backstory or whatever, but it's really irrelevant to how you decide to play the game and what kind of person or character you decide to be. I love that. I love that we can be a hero or a villain or a psycho or everything in between, and just do things that, we can see how people react to it. Like if you take another look at one of the trailers, there's a scene where, and I don't think it's actually in the game, but she's like, you have to choose now, and you decide to shoot a person, and she's like, you didn't have to do that, but oh well, you just keep being you, right? You are almost encouraged to do what you want, and you don't necessarily have to always do the good thing, which is what I usually do in video games. I tend to always be the good guy, or neutral if I'm feeling a little bit crazy, but I just like that there's a bunch of choice, and that it seems the game actually reacts to that in a natural way. I think that's what that trailer was trying to exemplify and get across. When you do something, characters in the world are going to react to you in a certain way. They're going to talk about you in a different way. And that's true choice, which I love. And also as well, it's not just choice in terms of what kind of character you are, but also your playstyle. Like if you saw a lot of the trailers, you can play as an assassin, as a brawler, as a gunslinger. That's also choice too, and that's also important to me, because sometimes I like to play as a certain character, and if I decide to replay the game, I want to play as another character. I don't want to do the same thing over and over and over. So I like that there's choice in those two different regards. So I'm going to have a lot of fun with that. I'm going to have a lot of fun experimenting with different weapons and different play styles, which gets me to my next point and final point. Reason number 5 why I'm so excited for the Outer Worlds: the gunplay and the gameplay does seem fun. It just seems like a lot of fun, all right? First of all, bullet time, holy crap. There's a form of bullet time, or whatever they call it. Maybe there's a name to it, I don't know. But I absolutely love bullet time. I used the hell out of bullet time mods when it came to Fallout 3 in New Vegas. So to see it actually, incorporated again in a game is great. I think it's so much fun to use. The fact that you get to slow time down, but still have that kind of threat of danger because the enemies haven't completely stopped. I love that take. And then you combine that with the array of weapons and abilities that seem to be in this game. it's going to be a fun time in my opinion. Clearly from the gameplay we've seen so far, there are traditional weapons that you might find in your regular shooter games, but then there's also weapons with different elemental abilities and effects, whether that's down to the actual guns themselves or the ammunition specifically, I don't know. It would be cool to have both. But you got your small guns, you got your heavy guns, you got your melee, there are blades in there and sledgehammers, all this kind of stuff, varied weapons, varied abilities. It's going to be, in my opinion, a bunch of fun to play, a bunch of fun to experiment with, and especially when you want to keep replaying the game, play it differently, see what kind of endings that you get. That's definitely going to be fun in terms of story and seeing, how characters react to you. But just in terms of playing the game, I also like how there's going to be a lot of choice in terms of the weapons we use, because they also have different effects as well. Like there were some weapons where if you shot enemies, that would float, others that would actually miniaturize the enemies, and then you got your regular shooting weapons. So I think that there's a lot to offer, and no matter your preference when it comes to playstyle and the weapons you like to use in games, especially RPGs, I think there's going to be something for everyone in the Outer Worlds. So anyways, Wastanders, that's all from me. I hope you enjoyed this video of me talking about why I'm so excited for the Outer Worlds. Let me know if you're excited for the game in the comments below, and the reasons why as well. I can't wait to chat with you there. Be sure to follow me on Twitter. The link is in the description below. I love interacting with you guys there as well. And until next time, this has been the Lone Bot Wanderer. Please take care of yourself, and would you kindly keep fighting the good fight.